Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Smack Drop Podcast, Wrestling News World's exclusive recap show. It can also be found on youtube.com/SmackDrop Podcast, and of course, everywhere else that podcasts are found. It is myself, the Kai Tai Show, Mr. Kyle, joined this week by the AJ Styles of podcast and Sebastian, Mr. Wrestling_Sports. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you, Kyle?
I am jacked up off this Red Bull. I am going to be regretting this at 8 in the morning because I will probably get all of maybe an hour and a half of sleep. But for the time being, I'm good. Thank you.
I usually don't drink energy drinks, but I have found one I like. It's like the Monster Pacifica Punch. It tastes pretty good.
Yeah?
I tried it last couple of days. Yeah.
I usually don't mess with them either myself, but I overslept this morning, and when I got to work, I missed breakfast, and I missed my morning coffee. I got to work, and then only about an hour or two into my shift, it was just me and my boss. My boss informs me that he is, quote-unquote, suspended, and he promptly left the store. He had to turn in his key, had to change the safe code. I mean, the guy's pretty much fired.
Yeah,
So I was stuck at work all day by myself. I couldn't break away to get any caffeine. So after a long, hard day of work, no caffeine, no food, the first thing I did was I stopped by my local gas station and I bought a Red Bull and a thing of Sour Patch Kids because apparently I have a sweet tooth.
It's very hard for me to find an energy drink I like. I think most of them taste really bad, but my brother introduced this one to me. I was like, can you recommend one that don't taste terrible? And he did. It's pretty good.
To me, it wasn't even about the flavor. It was like, I just need caffeine
I get that.
in a hurry.
But that's one reason I never drank them. I just couldn't really get the taste of it.
Blowout says, in the military, my lunch was a Slim Jim, a Red Bull, and a Power Bar. It cost me $10. It's a hell of a lunch, man. Oh, shit. Hey, listen, you guys. If you're new to the show, we are a pro wrestling podcast. We cover mainly WWE and AEW, but we also are going to cover other events like this upcoming one that's being put on by Wrestling News World and Synergy Pro Wrestling. It is for the first responders, a pay-per-view on July 11th, brought to you by Fight TV. All the proceeds are going to go to the American Nurses Foundation. Here at the Smack Drop Podcast, we are so proud to be part of promoting this show. We encourage everybody, go out, order this pay-per-view. I think it's only like $12. And go ahead, enjoy an actual wrestling pay-per-view that you know your money is going to a good cause. So please go check that out. And then when you're ready to go to live events, maybe go check out Belts by Dan. The link is in the description. Go on to Belts by Dan. Get you a handcrafted, authentic championship belt from them. And just make sure, maybe tell them Smack Drop Podcast sent you. It'll help out the show greatly. So, yeah. Sounds good, right?
I want a belt.
You want a belt? I want a belt, man. I do. I don't know, man. I just feel weird. I've been to like all of 2 wrestling shows. So I feel like I'd get an itch and I'd want to carry it somewhere. But I'd probably just be like a weirdo. You know what I mean?
I really want a big gold belt.
A big gold belt? I don't know. I'd want that smoking skull belt, man.
Big goldie.
Big goldie. What'd you think of Raw, man?
It was great.
It was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Nitro.
It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't bad at all. It
Everything.
was well paced.
Everything. But 90% of it had a meaning, and that's the shows I enjoy. Not much filler at all.
There wasn't much to look forward to this episode. Like, if you're going by Backlash, really all Backlash hinted at was tension between Bobby Lashley and Lana. Other than that, you kind of went into this episode blind without really anything to understand like what's going to happen.
Those are usually the best ones, though.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Blowout says his title's going to be here on Friday from WWE.com. No, Blowout, go to Belts by Dan. Go to Belts by Dan.
Is it too late for a refund? I mean, you can just order it by Belts by Dan and you still get a belt.
There you go. How'd the show open? Oh, it opened with Orton. Orton mocking Edge in defeat. Says, obviously he's injured, but he hurt his recovery time, allowed him to be back in another 9 years. Really taking the piss out of Edge, obviously. Christian finally, I don't know, a couple months too late, comes out to Edge's defense. And calls Orton a son of a bitch. Orton turns around and says, Christian, I know why you're here. You want one more match. A callback to their feud back in the day. And Christian tries to play it off like, no, I don't want that. Orton goats him in, and he's like, I know you can't be medically cleared, so let's do an unsanctioned match. And then leaves the ring, leaves Christian pondering whether or not he's going to do it. He said the offer expires by the end of the show. So yeah, that's what we had to look forward to all night, was how was this going to go down between Christian and Orton. Following that, tensions are still high between Garza and Andrade, and also Garza is still hitting on Charlie Caruso backstage. And then we got the first match of the night following that, with Angel Garza taking on Kevin Owens. What's that?
We're going to get Andrade and Selena versus Garza and Caruso.
Charlie Caruso.
You gotta see, I don't know if you pay attention, but Zelina's eyes tonight when Garza was hitting on her, man, she's getting pissed.
She can't help it, man.
If Charlie can learn 4 moves, we can make it happen.
You can make it happen.
Yeah.
What do you need? You need a clothesline. You need that whole like spinning, like hair pulled down, almost like a half crossbody, half clothesline move.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe some
a drop kick.
Back drop. That's all.
And a back drop. There you go. You can get a whole match out of that.
We can make it work. Andrade and Garza can carry 90% of it. And
that's a hot tag. That's a hot tag right there.
There we go.
Yeah, man. Make it happen. Early into the match between Garza and Kevin Owens, Andrade comes out. Every time Garza would get tossed out of the ring, Andrade is promptly trying to pick him up, throw him back in the ring. Obviously, Garza's like, dude, get off of me. They start bickering. Zelina's finally had it up to here. She leaves them high and dry. Kevin Owens ends up picking up the win with a stunner. And then, obviously, Garza, Andrade bickering again. Zelina comes back and tells the guys to get on the same page. We're all here for the same reason. This whole faction was doomed from the start, man. They had 2 good weeks.
Yeah, but it hit me though. Right now, you can kind of, from this point, from what happened tonight, you can kind of start a story just like Selena started with Andrade and NXT.
Yeah.
Like, get your shit together, get focused. This is it. No more shenanigans, and then go from there. Just like Andrade and NXT.
Man, I don't know.
But they got to start it from tonight, from what happened tonight.
I don't know, my friend. I don't know.
If not, we'll have a banger Andrade and Garza match.
Yeah, that'd be really good. What else would be really good? MVP addresses backstage with Lashley addressing Lana screwing up the title match. They're out in the ring, actually, yeah. Lana comes out. She's pointing the finger at MVP. MVP calls her a thought.
Yeah.
That, backstage, Vince doesn't know what that means, man. Yo,
I couldn't believe it.
USA is going to be calling them.
He said that and I died. I was like, whoa.
The look on it broke Lashley. Like, Lashley broke character, man. We heard MVP snap back. However, Lashley chimes in after hearing Lana. Finally, pretty much he's tired of Lana exploiting him. He says he wants a divorce. Lana's shell shock.
And Lana's like, if I would have had sex with anybody to be popular, I'd have slept with Drew. And I was like, oh man, this is going somewhere.
It's a toxic relationship, my friend.
It's over now, hopefully.
Backstage, you got the Viking prophets. They want a cinematic universe. Tozawa shows up with the ninjas and the big ninja, and they want a sequel, which leads to 8-man tag. Tozawa, 3 unnamed ninjas taking on the Viking prophets. It's a comedy squash match. When it looks like the odds might be against the Viking Prophets, out comes the Big Show to even the odds against the Big Ninja. Big Show's presence on the show tonight was actually pretty good.
It was.
Yeah.
And, man, I don't know. Some people need to learn the difference between a heel turn and face. They were coming out like last time he was a heel. No, he wasn't. That whole Drew thing at Mania, Raw, whatever you want to call it, he didn't turn heel. He just came out there and was trying to make Drew prove he's a champ.
Yeah, he fired him up, man.
Yeah, but everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh,
that was Tweener show."
Yeah, turn number. I'm like, what? No.
Oh, Blowout finally said. He said, "Don't worry, he's gonna get a belt from us." Awesome, Blowout. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, this backs off Tozawa and the Ninjas. What are you thinking of this?
I'm intrigued by the Big Ninja, but other than that, it ain't for me. But in all seriousness, the Raw tag division right now is rough, man.
It's silly.
It's rough.
It's really silly. Someone pointed out on Twitter the state of the tag division on Dynamite and then SmackDown and NXT and then Raw, and it's
Raw's rough. Funny. And at least SmackDown has like reasoning. Like their push was going to be Forgotten Sons. Obviously, things happened there. Usos are injured.
Which, by the way, thank you, Jackson Riker. I think we owe him a thank you for torpedoing his team, so we don't have to see them on television. I'm not too mad at his tweets, man, because they got them off of our screens.
He really screwed them.
No,
I feel for ever too, though.
Here's the tweet. It says AEW's got FTR versus Young Bucks and Omega and Hangman feud going.
Yes.
NXT's got Imperium and Breezango, and then Sasha and Bayley taking on Tegan and Shotzi, and then SmackDown's working with New Day against Cesaro and Nakamura. And then Raw's like, we got ninjas. Yeah.
Yes, I seen that.
Holy shit. It's true, though. It's true. I often forget, like, why the hell they even bother having tag titles. Because it's obviously there's no interest in it.
Like I said, at least SmackDown has things like excuses. Raw just don't have any, other than the fact they're trying to make Street Profits a comedy act and taking it down with.
Oh, shoot. My favorite part of the show, Seth is back to talk about the greater good.
What about the greater good?
The greater good. Seth Rollins is doing some of the best work of his career.
I'm telling you, my friend. He invited Rey Mysterio out. Rey Mysterio declined, but Dominic's there. And then Dominic's not out in the ring with Seth, of course. But Seth is saying, you either can be on the right side of history, the wrong side of history. And essentially just sells, I want Rey and Dominic to join for the greater good. And at this point, Rey's like, no, this enrages Seth. Seth is, obviously, Rey is on the Titantron. Seth is distracted by the Titantron. Dominic comes out from behind, attacks Seth Rollins. Theory and Murphy are nowhere to be found. They come running out. Dominic pulls like a Benny Hill. He's just ducking and dodging everybody. He eventually escapes through the crowd. The first time the plexiglass came into like a really good storytell device to separate the guys from each other. And Dominic scurries off. It's almost for certain that Dominic is going to end up with Seth, right? Like, we can almost guarantee that's the end game here, right?
Are we getting Seth versus Dominic at Extreme Rules?
I mean, yeah, it's going to start out like that. It's going to start out with Dominic getting beat up.
The only reason I asked is, like, if they're not ready for that. Like, it feels like Seth and Rey would be more of a SummerSlam thing than it would an Extreme Rules thing. Even though, it kind of does need a step at this point because it is kind of getting personal. But, what would Seth do at SummerSlam ever in that? Like,
I don't know.
So I feel like him and Dominic at Extreme Rules would be sort of a bridge to get there. But
it was announced later on in the show that Rey Mysterio is going to appear on next week's Raw. Yep. Yeah, and we're going to get a match out of this.
Yo, Dominic can move, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He got around that ring very nimble. Okay. I wonder how big Dominic is. He strikes me as he's got to be at least 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy. Yeah. I mean, he's not small.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can get around them.
He's got that nowadays you can be like in that 6'3" category and be both like powerful and nimble. The way these guys are being built nowadays. Backstage Truth and Drew McIntyre confronted by MVP and Lashley. MVP proposes that they do a winner takes all in their tag match, just meaning whatever tag team wins both the WWE Championship and the 24/7 Championship. Drew's looking at him like he's crazy, but of course Truth has to chime in, and he says, "You're on," and he puts up MVP's belt on his behalf, which that's kind of nice to see that, someone else besides Bayley can go ahead and offer up other people's belts. Yeah.
Drew's face it crept me out.
Oh yeah, Drew was like, "Truth, you crazy? What are you talking about?" What else? Iconics. Oh yeah, they came out. Did we have anything that led like Liv and Natalya? Like they just happened to be a tag team this week.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people. Apparently, I guess they've been having matches on main event. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if like there was a respect thing it kind of led to it. I'm not sure, but it was all over my feed that they've been having matches on main event. And now they're a team. So
yeah, I've honestly, I don't think I've like ever watched main event. I'd consider it non-canon, anyways.
Until I was at Raw and I had no choice to watch.
Shoot, I left. Do they take main event before or after?
It's before.
It's before. Okay. Because I went to SmackDown and they were going to do 205 Live, and I was like, "Nah, I'm out."
Well, Raw tapes an hour later. They can, or SmackDown ends at 10, Raw ends at 11.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And main event's only a 30-minute show too. I started at 7:30.
Oh, really? It's only 30 minutes? Okay. Anyways, the Iconics defeated the team of Liv Morgan and Natalya. They end up delivering the Magic Killer to Liv.
I don't know if Liv took the pin here.
Yeah, it's to further what Natalya was going on backstage, which was.
But I feel like Natalya getting pinned would lead more to her getting frustrated. I don't know. Like Liv just, I don't know.
She can't catch a break, man. Liv cannot catch a break.
Well, like in her spot, she looked great in there. It's just, I don't know. She took the pin.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Iconics after the match, though, they knew that Sasha and Bayley were in the building, and they challenged them to a match. This is odd to have to lay out a challenge to someone you know is in a building and then not get a response.
Oh,
just
no.
Get the cold shoulder.
I thought this set too, but they did a good job of covering it later.
Okay.
I was proud.
I'll have you bridge the gap because I don't think I caught it. We cut backstage. Big Show. This is where I like Big Show. Being a mentor, offering advice to both his peers and then the younger guys. I feel like Big Show is so charismatic and then just wonderful on the mic and knowledgeable. Like, I could listen to him offer advice all day.
He just seems like, I don't know, Big Show seems like somebody that would talk to me or you. Like, he's that guy that's just friendly and reasonable, and like, I don't know, I really like Big Show tonight.
Yeah, man, no, he was used really well, I thought.
Even later on, he was with Street Profits, and it hit me. I wouldn't mind seeing Big Show as a Raw GM. Like,
yeah, you did mention that. Yeah, you could do that. Although they're trying to do away with the GMs, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in that role at all.
At this point, I'd rather have a GM instead of everybody just making up whatever.
Just doing whatever they want to do. Really, MVP's the one calling all the shots, it looks like.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Big Show warns Christian backstage that there's more than one reason Orton would want to face him in an unsanctioned match, implying, Randy's like sadistic nature and enjoying injuring opponents. But Christian, of course, just did not look ready for a fight tonight. I'm not going to lie. At no point did he look fired up. He looked like the whole time, should I do this? Should I not do this? He didn't look ready for a fight. When you saw him squaring up against Randy Orton later on.
To be fair, put yourself in his shoes. Have it storyline now. I mean, kayfabe this.
Yeah.
The guy out there not had a match in 6 years. And then this sadistic motherfucker challenges you to a non-sanctioned match. Wouldn't you be hesitant to? Like,
Yeah, I guess so. Because you're a good guy, so you can't rally up guys and like do like a gang beatdown.
Yeah,
You know,
I
you
mean,
can't do that if you're a good guy.
it wasn't like Edge that chose to come back.
Yeah.
Christian came here not expecting this. He hit him with it. So kayfabe wise, I gave him a pass on it. I keep it kayfabe.
You keep it kayfabe, man. We cut back to Natalya. She's berating Liv Morgan backstage. Natalya's becoming this like self-absorbed, everyone sucks except me character. And then out of nowhere pops Lana, who exudes the same attitude. And I instantly was like, yes, that clicks. Those two can be insufferable together.
I feel like they've been sort of together before. Wasn't they a part of the welcoming committee back in like 2016 or something like that?
I think that was the Diva locker room trying to fend off the NXT call-ups.
Yeah, but I feel like they was on the same side. Am I right?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fairly certain.
I feel like they've been...
Because Lana came up with Rusev before the NXT call-ups were getting like a ton of hype, you know, and they were getting exposure from NXT. They were treating the call-ups more as like non-canon, like they're not NXT. It was like when they were ignoring NXT's existence when Lana came up.
I felt like I'd done something before, but I couldn't really put my finger on it.
Now, listen, the reason why I'm really excited about the Lana and Natalya team up is because both of them we hate seeing on our screens for the most time. And that now when they team up, instead of getting two segments where we want people to get off our screens, you can combine them and we'll only get one segment of us not wanting them on our screen.
I don't hate seeing Natalya. I hate seeing Natalya with a mic in her hand. And that's pretty bad. But other than that, Natalya's okay.
I don't mean it's just they don't do it for me, man. They don't do it for me.
Stay off my screen for all I care. But
Yeah.
at least Natalya can wrestle.
I'll give her that. Natalya's good. She's all right in the ring. It's just she's like a Dolph Ziggler to me, man. Like it's just like I'm apathetic. I'm really apathetic, man.
A fish out of water in the ring. So there's that.
Christian finally announces to Charlie Caruso that he is accepting the challenge to Randy Orton. And then we got this. Now this got me excited. Apollo Cruz is backstage and he's approached by MVP, who commends Apollo on being a fighting champion, but he encourages him to be a smart champion. He says, fight the right people at the right team for the right amount of money. Cruz, being the ever babyface, takes this as a coward's way out and says, no, I'm going to be a fighting champion. He declines the offer. MVP does persist, though, and leaves him with the final message. Like, if you want to hang on to this title, you're going to need me in your corner. And going by the match that followed it between Apollo Cruz and Shelton Benjamin, where Shelton Benjamin tried to get a cheap victory, putting his feet on the ropes, only for Apollo Cruz to turn around as fair play. And he holds the ropes to get the win, doing a little bit of heelish tactics. I think we're going to get, maybe not a faction, but MVP managing more people.
Oh, well, after this match, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was on Twitter, one of the exclusives. Apparently, MVP offered to get Shelton a rematch for the title next week.
So Apollo turned me down, so...
On the Shelton.
Oh,
but
I got you.
I absolutely loved Apollo making fun of Shelton after this match. Like when it happened, I was like, I don't know if I like that finish, but Apollo laughing in Shelton's face did it for me. I was like,
yeah, give him some personality. Although I don't mean to be too mean. Apollo actually has been showing much better personality as of late. I'm just not into him as a babyface. I feel like Apollo Cruz could just be a natural heel, not like an uber heel, but just naturally just be a heel, man. I don't know how to put it. What else? What else we got? Big Show. Big Show offering more advice to the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, how they can settle this feud that they just can't break the tie. And he was like, how about you guys just have a title match? It's like,
yes, this is when
you're both wrestlers.
Just the way Big Show delivered this was like, man, he'd be a great GM.
Yeah.
I need Big Show as GM of Raw.
He's like, I know you guys like to go golfing and bowling and all these other things, but you're the tag team champs. You guys happen to be wrestlers. How about, here's a thought, you guys wrestle. It's just,
I mean, like,
oh
a
man,
GM with a brain, it'd be great. We need
yes, sir. That's it. It was during this segment that I realized I was like, you know what, Big Show's been a really nice touch to Raw tonight.
Yes.
He's been kind of like the opposite of MVP, which was pretty cool. Nice little dichotomy. We finally got that Drew McIntyre and R-Truth match. It was announced prior that R-Truth's title would not be on the line. Only Drew McIntyre. Blowout, you have a good night. Blowout says he's got to go to bed. All right, man.
Man, I was kind of worried going into this, though, until I saw it wasn't main event. And then I was like, okay, nothing's going to happen.
No, they ain't going to do that. They ain't going to get the title off of McIntyre
just the
in a
way
tag match.
MVP was tagging or, recruiting people, and R-Truth kind of did the little thing, not getting his belt. I was like, maybe we're going to have a screw over. Who knows? But when it came out at like 10 o'clock, I was like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was a pretty basic story to the match, knowing that only Drew's title was on the line. Obviously, anytime R-Truth was in the ring, Drew McIntyre is going to be worried. And so that was kind of the majority of the match. Drew McIntyre was doing good early on. Truth just tags himself in while McIntyre's trying to go for a Claymore. Truth then proceeds to get his ass beat for a good couple minutes. But he did work his way back to getting a tag from Drew McIntyre. Comes in, beats everyone down, does the Claymore to MVP, and then surprisingly, instead of going for the pin, he tags Truth in and allows him to do a splash for the victory. So just uber babyface stuff from Drew McIntyre.
Decent little match.
It's nice little, yeah. And it had personality. You know what I mean? He didn't just go for the pin. He tagged Truth in, and that was nice, sharing the victory.
And Truth, and don't forget the backstage segment when Truth was like, just believe in me, Drew. Nobody believes in me. And then doing that at the end. That was cool.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that part.
Yeah, Truth, because Drew was mad, and then Truth was finally like, just believe in me, Drew. Nobody believes in me. I got you. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Dude, it's amazing to me how long R-Truth has been around.
And he's never aged.
And he has not aged. That's the deceptive thing. But, I mean, Truth has been around, I believe, since the 90s.
Yeah, he has.
He debuted as K-Quick back in the day. If you look up, so if you're in the chat and you're not aware of this, Google K-Quick. And make sure you find out what year the image comes up. And that shows right there. It's been 20 years and R-Truth has barely aged a day. Huh?
He was in one of our throwbacks we done.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was the crazy thing when he was in the throwback. And you're like, wow, this guy owns a time machine or something.
Yeah, the dude won the NWA title back in like 04, 05, something like that.
Yeah. No, he was on. I remember him because he was on Sunday Night Heat. He was always on Sunday Night Heat, man. And he was rapping back then, too.
Same stuff with TNA. Same stuff, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Backstage, Ric Flair is trying to talk Christian out of taking the match with Randy Orton. Nothing really too big here. We get another Sasha and Bayley celebration. Of course, it's Bayley's birthday. Happy birthday, Bayley. This Wednesday, they're going to head into NXT to take on Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox while they're gloating about them obviously just being on all the shows. Iconics come out, interrupting them, do some trash talking. Peyton Royce ends up slapping Sasha Banks, enraging Bayley to accept the challenge for next week, assuming they retain on NXT. Now, you said during this segment they clarified why.
Yeah, Bayley and Sasha just came out and laughed and was like, the Iconics think they're going to tell us when and where to come out and defend our titles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just basic heel stuff. But there was, they teased some dissension here. Sasha, I don't know if you caught this, but she called herself the leader during this.
Yeah, the leader. And then she also didn't look too happy, Bayley just accepting the match abruptly. So
we're just pouring more tea in the pot.
There you go.
So we're getting it.
Hey, Firefly Funhouse returns this Friday.
Yeah. Hell yes.
God dang, man, it feels like it's been forever since we've seen Bray Wyatt, man. It's been too long.
It's probably the first it too, and with my new work schedule, I'm probably going to miss the first segment every freaking week now. But it's going to be the first segment. I know it is, and I'm going to be so mad I miss it.
I'll give you my Spectrum login info. Oh wait, no, because you can't watch Fox remotely. Never mind. Damn. Yeah, I would have shared it, but it doesn't matter because unless you're on my Wi-Fi, you can't watch Fox.
Oh, it's sad.
Oh well.
Way to get my hopes up, Kyle. You said that.
God, man. Hey, listen, man. Back when I was younger, I knew my way around the internet. There might be a website or two I could send your way.
I have to find it.
All right, we'll talk about it. So this match we were looking forward to probably the least. I think I speak for everybody. It was the Backlash rematch between Asuka and Nia Jax. A lot of people are worried. They've heard the news that Vince changed up the match at Backlash from Asuka winning to a draw. So you go into this match worried maybe they're going to put the title on Jax. You know, it's always in the back of your mind. But I loved how this match turned out. It was a straightforward match. However, after Nia Jax hits that Samoan drop and Asuka's leg is under the rope, she becomes irate with the ref, pushes the ref down.
Nobody pushes John Combs.
Yeah, John Combs.
He is tired of being bullied.
Yeah. He goes to DQ her, but Asuka rolls Jax up. And so John Combs does a fast count. Yes. So it was nice to see the ref get some comeuppance, but I believe this does also mean this feud is going to continue on to it's Extreme Rules that's up next, right?
Yeah, and we're probably going to have Charlotte as a special guest referee. So.
Yeah, something. Charlotte's going to get in there.
We're definitely going to referee of some sort.
And then that got us to the main event. Christian comes out for his unsanctioned match against Orton. One thing to note, as Christian was doing his entrance, there was less than 5 minutes of airtime, so we knew something screwy was going to happen. Once both Christian and Orton are in the ring, out comes Ric Flair one more time pleading with Christian to not take the match. Christian pushes him aside, says, Flair, I got to do this. They ring the bell. Flair goes low with a low blow on Christian from behind. That sets up Randy Orton to instantly hit a punt kick, count the 1, 2, 3 on Christian. And the real story was after the match. Orton, his character work is something else, man.
I've always said when Randy Orton is motivated, there's not many people that's ever done it better. And this is a perfect example.
He was in Christian's ear, similar to when he took out Edge with the chair. Christian, I didn't want to do this. This is your fault. You know, just such a conflict with character instead of straightforward, I'm a bad guy. You could just hear this, like, his mental well-being slipping.
And him telling the people to take care of him.
He's, like, trying to fix Christian's legs and everything. He's trying to show compassion for the man he just attempted murder on. It's all good stuff, man. I gotta say, this is a lot of people compare this to, like, I guess 2009 Orton, which I guess is like considered prime Orton. What was that? Was that like that was post Legend Killer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was, I think, when the Vipers started, when he started the punt kick. I mean, that was around, I believe, when he had the feud with Triple H and kissed Stephanie while he was handcuffed. And, he was doing some hellish stuff. But like I said, man, when Orton's motivated, not many people can do it better. I mean,
I see a lot of people online now that Orton's had this run for a couple months, throwing out GOAT status. One thing that's lesser known, Orton's a 13-time world champion.
The thing about the GOAT status, this guy wants to do this for 10 more years.
Yeah.
By the time he wraps it up, it's not a crazy fault that he'll be up there.
The only people that have more title reigns than Orton right now are Triple H, John Cena, and Ric Flair. Triple H, I think, has 14. I can't remember if he has 14 or if when he won the Royal Rumble, if that was his 15th. I want to say it was 14. That was his 14th. And then, of course, you have John Cena and Ric Flair both with 16 reigns, which I still, in my heart of heart, believe Cena's going to come back and get a 17th.
He probably will.
Yeah.
But
Randy's sitting at 13, I think, right now.
And I definitely think him and Drew McIntyre is going to be a feud eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Orton in an interview days ago said he wanted to do this till he was 50. He's 40.
His style will let him do it too.
Yeah. And, you know, depending on what the next 10 years hold, if he's motivated for a lot of it or a majority of it, whatever the case, it's not that crazy to think that he'll be up there. It really isn't. I know a lot of people don't like his style, and, you know, when he's not motivated, it's different. I get that. But stuff like tonight, go back a couple years ago with his stuff with Jeff. I mean,
Oh, I remember when the Jeff stuff was happening. He was like putting like screwdriver through his ear hole and everything.
I mean, heel Randy Orton, dude, he's sick. He's a doctor.
He is really good. I'm on Wikipedia right now. I'm trying to find how many title reigns this dude's got.
And I really love, like, the pre-match interview. Like, even though he's still a Viper, voices in his head, kind of like the character conflict at the end, like you said.
Yeah.
But still, he's like, Christian's a legend, right? Charlie's like, yeah. And he's like, I kill legends.
Yeah, I caught that too. And he was like, you know, Christian's a legend. I was like, oh, come on, just say it. Just say it. I
mean, I'm a Randy guy. I know, like I said, I know some people don't like his style, but not everybody has to have the fancy style. I think just the way he does is just enough to make him different enough where it's still entertaining to me.
Yeah, so he is a 13-time champion. He's held the WWE Championship 9 times and then the big gold belt 4 times. So he very well could be, that's 3 title reigns away. You don't think Randy can't capture 3 more world titles to get 16?
One maybe, if Randy Orton keeps this up past Edge, Christian, and all that, and stays this kind of Orton, he's probably got a title reign coming up. It wouldn't surprise me to see him beat Drew.
Yeah. And like I said, I believe the only person outside of Cena and Flair is Triple H's title reigns. I still can't believe, man, when he won the Royal Rumble, became champion for that like all of 3 months.
Yeah, and then long.
Yeah, that was pretty lame. All to try and get Roman Reigns over. That was pretty dumb. Triple H's got 14 because as of 2011 he had 13, and he had 1 more back just a couple years ago. Yeah.
So, what did you do when he punted Edge, by the way?
Oh, I was shocked, man.
Dude,
It happened quick.
On my seat, I was like, "You punted him!"
No, what got the biggest reaction out of me was when Edge kicked out of the RKO off the second turnbuckle.
Yeah.
That one got me. That one got me out of
That's a
my seat.
bang over match, man. It really was. Don't get me wrong, probably not the greatest of all time. It's all subjective, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, man, they delivered, I believe.
That's good.
I remember 2 days before, Randy Orton was like, tweeted something like 48 hours before we found out if we deliver or shit the bed. And they did not shit the bed.
Thank you guys for joining the show. Stick around for a couple minutes after we go off the air. We'll stay live. We'll not go off the air after we're done recording. But we'll stay live. We'll go ahead and chat with you guys in the live chat if you guys want to talk about anything about Raw or just wrestling in general, or if you just want to find out what our favorite fast food chains are. Definitely hit us up in the chat. But make sure to tune in for all our shows later this week, and then especially tomorrow or Thursday, we're doing the game night. I know we're recording it tomorrow, but I don't know if we're going live or posting it Thursday, but that's going to be a ton of fun. We have TC from the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast. He's going to be a guest on the show. And then, of course, follow us at SmackDrawPod, myself at the Kai Tai Show, and, of course, Sebastian at Wrestling _sports. Yes. And then if you guys actually do run into Seb on Twitter, make sure you put him over. That's the golden rule. You just got to put Seb over, man.
I mean, I am the Intercontinental Champion.
But, of course, like always, until next time, you guys have a good one.
See ya.